Welcome to our video about reports and forms, which you can access on this tab of the Comply desktop. As you can see, there is an extensive list of reports, and I won't attempt to itemize them all here. Instead, I'll focus on the common behaviors among the reports, such as using request filters, display toolbars, and the email subtabs. If you'd like to see descriptions of all the reports, you can find them by selecting the blue question mark at the top of either the right or left panel, and it will display a list of reports and the descriptions in section 9.2 of the online help as shown here. This video will focus on viewing and optionally emailing reports here in the desktop. Comply does include two other means to view or deliver reports. The first, Comply Extended, or Comply EX for short, allows officers to view a subset of these reports on their smartphone. Additionally, any of the reports shown here can be configured in the Comply Report service for automated delivery. We cover those two components in separate videos. And a final note before we proceed. Your Reports and Forms tab will likely not show all the reports you see on my screen. Some of these are intended for IT staff, and your court may not use the forms shown here on the right. Okay, to demonstrate the features common to almost all reports, we'll do a walkthrough of the test location schedule, one of the most commonly used reports in Comply. To open this or any report, click on its name and it will open in a separate browser tab. In the top panel, you will see various selection filters. These filters vary based on the chosen report, but most contain at least start and end dates. Here, you also have sort options and filters for offices, officers, and test locations. For your convenience, Comply will always remember the last filter selections you chose, and in the case of start and end dates, it will increment them for you day by day. For example, if you always run this test location schedule for the following day, each day when you open it, the filters will reflect tomorrow's dates. Also, upon first opening the report, Comply will not display the report itself until you click Display. This gives you a chance to change or alter the filters before rendering the report. When you are ready, click Display to render the report. It displays the report, and all reports include a toolbar at the top. Use the Page controls to move page to page, or the outer arrows to jump to the beginning or end. The refresh icon redisplays the report with the latest data in case it changed since you first rendered the report. You can adjust the view size, or export the report, or print the report. You can also use the search box on the right side to search for content within the report. You can email all reports to at least one of test location contacts, officers, or other contacts you specify. Specifically, each report has one or more subtabs displaying your options. You see here in the test location schedule, there are subtabs to email to officers or test location contacts. The displayed subtabs can vary by report. For example, here's the call report, and it only has an officer's email tab because you would not normally email this report to test locations. The call volume report only has an email tab labeled Email To because it's an IT-related report not intended for officers or test location contacts. You can still email the report, but you fill in the contacts yourself. Let's do a quick walkthrough of the Email tab back on the test location schedule report. You see a grid at the top in which Comply has already provided the list of officer email recipients who have clients contained in the report. At the very simplest, if all this looks correct, you can jump directly to the Email Options panel at the bottom and click Submit Email Request, and you're done. Each officer will receive an email with an attached PDF file, and the file will show only that officer's assigned clients. Let's show you some other options you can choose before submitting the email request. You can remove selected officer recipients by highlighting them in the grid and selecting Remove Contacts button. You can add additional contacts by typing them into the Additional Contacts panel, selecting which data to include in the report, and selecting Add Contact. You'll now see them displayed in the grid at the top. If it all looks good, you can now click Submit Email Request. The Email to Test Locations sub-tab works in much the same way, the only difference being you are emailing the report to test location contacts as maintained in the Test Locations Configure sub-tab. The other panels and controls work in the same manner as we just saw in the Email to Officer sub-tab. Finally, you might be curious why the Send button is labeled Submit Email Request. This is because all email processing is queued and processed directly on your Comply server, not at your PC. You'll notice, back on the main Reports and Forms screen, there is an email request grid at the bottom. This displays the status of all email requests, so you can see where your requests are in the queue, and you can optionally use the Show My Request checkbox to filter the grid. And that's it. There was a lot to cover here, but there's a lot of functionality. You're good to go. Thank you for joining us today.